Good evening, everybody. Actually, I am talking to you again. I try to complete my series about the real life of the people in the displaced places, in the displaced areas, in the camps in Syria, close to the Turkish borders. For a long time, maybe now about 4 months, we are talking about the same problem all the time. And all the time, there is no real solution for these problems. So the situation in the camps is like this. A misery is coming today, and tomorrow is another misery, and after tomorrow is another misery. And there is no real solution for the first misery. So all the miseries and all the problems just gathered, and they make the life of those people terrible more and more. And until now, everybody and all the world is silent, and nobody is trying to solve the problem of those people. We have started to talk from the beginning about the solution, but the solution until now is not there. We have started to talk from the beginning about the main and the major problem that is facing those people, that is displacement itself. We are not talking, when I'm talking in English, I don't talk about the main reason, that is the regime, because everybody in the world knows that the regime itself is the real problem that must be removed. And in this case, the misery of those people and all the Syrian people will be solved from the roots. But we are talking about the life of those people. We are trying all the time to make the world remember that there are about 5 million men, women, and child are suffering in the camps and also in the villages and the cities of Idlib as well. For me, as a man of Idlib and as a man getting the information and the data every day, day by day, from people within Idlib, either they are living in the cities or in the camps, I discovered and I assure for you that the misery of those people is the same for both people. All people are living in a kind of starvation. All people are living in a kind of hunger. All people are maybe living in a frustration. There is no hope for those people. There is no education for those people. Health and cure is unbelievable for those people. There is no real hospitals. There is no any public service for those people. But when I am talking, I try to focus on the life of the people on the camps. And as you know, they are about 2 millions, and they are living in the worst conditions all over the world, absolutely. And I can assure for you that there is no life worse than the life they are using now. We have started to talk from the beginning about their life. They escaped suddenly. They went to the Turkish borders. They discovered that they are left alone. Nobody is helping them. Nobody is caring about them. They felt from the beginning that when they are removed, when they are blocked of their houses to escape and to save the life of their children, they will find somebody to support them from the world. And then they discovered that they are left alone. So those people live in a kind of frustration, and they lost any hope that the world will help them or stand for them. But I try all the time to just make the world remember that we are living, I know that in a bad conditions, but also even we are living in bad conditions, we must remember that the bad conditions that we are living in is like paradise or heaven for people, another people living in Idlib in the camps. So the life of those people is a real hell, and it's worse than death itself. The misery of those people started since the first day of displacement. Firstly, they couldn't find a shelter. Then they began to buy the tents. They have to buy everything to live. They don't have anything. And I said many times, maybe 1 million times, that the people who are living in Idlib are poor people, because for a long time they are living in bad conditions, and they are really living in a real poverty because of the bad conditions economically that were maybe in Idlib. Maybe the last 5 years was, as you know, they are farmers, and farming was a great failure in the last 5 years because of war. Nobody can grow the crops well, so everything became bad economically, and nobody has enough money to make him live a stable life, even he is inside his house. So what will happen for those people when they are maybe displaced in an open land? You don't need me to tell you again that until now, after maybe 4 or maybe more than 4 months, some people are still living close to the roads, on the two banks of the roads, two sides of the roads, and some people are still living under the olive trees. And you know this very well because I talked a lot, and many other people and activists talked about this a lot. They began to prepare everything for themselves by themselves. They have to buy the tent, they have to buy the food, they have to buy the water, even the water, yes, even the water. They are trying to buy everything. And you will be surprised that those people are buying everything that is given for them by the world or by the maybe people who donate for them something. It should be free for them, but they buy it and it's not available for anybody of them. So they have to do their best to prepare their life, and they will maybe work in hard conditions to get the maybe daily life, maybe, and it will not be easy. Absolutely. I talked a lot about the life of the orphans. I talked a lot about the lives of the widows. I talked a lot about the life of the disabled people, and there are a lot, thousands of disabled people. The people who lost, for example, the leg, or maybe the hand, or maybe they have some bullet inside their bodies and they can't remove it. Until now, they are living in the same conditions. And those people are just sitting inside a blue tent. And this blue tent, if you go inside, you will discover that there is a great misery. And I'm sure that if you maybe read the most horrible books about the miseries, you will discover that it is not a real misery. Just go inside any tent, go inside any tent and ask the people who are living inside about their misery. You will discover that everything you have heard about in the past was just fake stories, because real misery that the human beings are living is inside the blue tents in the Syrian camps close to the Turkish borders, without any feeling, without any movement, without any trying to help those people. All the humanity is watching silently, and very few people feeling sympathy and sympathizing with those people. And I told you many times that silence and sympathy is nothing and give nothing for a people who need help. So ask it many times, and you remember this very well. I asked it many times all the humanity to move everywhere to solve the problem of those people from the root. The root is the regime. This regime must be passed, and those people must come back to their houses. Everybody has a responsibility all over the world. This responsibility is to make people come back to their houses. They must live free. They must be happy. They must try to rebuild their destroyed life again in their destroyed houses, because I assure for you 50% of their houses are destroyed, and the other 50% are stolen from inside by Al-Assad regime. This is what I was talking about in the past. So every one video I make in English, I try to speak about one new misery and one new problem facing those people, and added to the last ones. And unfortunately, we don't have any influence or any try or any attempt to solve the problems that was before. A new one is added to the last ones. And the case and the situation of frustration that those people are living is still the same, and it is growing and it's becoming bigger and bigger. So all the problems are still alive, and the people are still alive. What I am trying to say all the time, that there is a space all the time for love and mercy between humanity. everybody has a responsibility and everybody must try to move. I guess that the word everywhere has a space of movement for the sake of those people, because their conditions must become better. They deserve a better life because they haven't committed a crime when they asked for freedom of such a killing regime, such a criminal regime. They asked freedom. They try to be free because they know that somewhere in the world there are some people who are claiming or pretending to be free and democratic. So they tried to make their country modern, free, and democratic like other countries. And this is not a dream in our new days. It is a reality. It is a reality. Everybody has the right to try to make his country free, democratic, and modern. It's not a crime, so they deserve a better life, and they deserve also a real support for their case. Anyway, what I am trying to talk today is the increase of the prices inside Idlib as a whole area, and especially in the camps and for the people who live inside the tent. First of all, I must tell you that those people have no money. There is no work. I guess you know very well that in such a case, a war, displacement, there is no work. There are no factories. There is no real farming. There is no real chances to work or to earn any money, even a little amount of money. So those people became really poor and they don't have the ability to win money. So in such a case, if you don't have a chance to work and if you don't have a chance to earn money for your living, so how could you buy even it is cheap things? If you want to buy, for example, your food, only your food, your water, you want to buy it, your medicine, you want to buy everything, your clothes, you need to buy everything, but you don't have money. You don't have money. So it's impossible for you, and it's a big dream for you to buy, even it is very cheap. So even to buy is something, a very great dream. To buy, they can't buy, they don't have. So they need really the aid and the donation. But because of corruption, they have to buy the things that is donated for them by the world. And I have to confess from the beginning that what's given to them maybe can make their misery not such a big misery, and it could be limited, and it will make life easier for them. But because of corruption, all the time they have to buy everything, even the water. And buying the water is something very strange in Syria, because it is something new. In Syria we don't buy water normally because we have a lot of water, but in the camps they have to buy even the water. So they can't buy because they are very poor now, because after 9 years of war they can't and they don't have enough money to buy the simple things, even it is cheap. But why we see the increase of prices every day? Every day there is an increase of prices for food and other things. And mostly what they buy is the subjects and the stuffs and the materials of the food that is given free. They have to go, for example, to the market or to the shop, and they will buy the same things that they must take it free. It is their right. They are going to the shop to buy their rights. They are living in such conditions. And this is not the end of the story. All the time and every day there is increase in these prices. For example, if you buy, for example, the egg for 50 lira, tomorrow you will buy it 55, and after tomorrow you will buy it 60. This is the life. This is the life of them. So how could we believe that there is a real support coming to those people? And we have to ask, we have the right to ask, why there is a doubling of prices every day for those people. Those people have no money even to buy cheap things. So how they can buy expensive things that must be given to them free? They started the story from the beginning by buying. The tents that you are living in, they bought. The water that they are drinking, they bought. The food that they are eating, bought. Nobody gave them any coal or any petroleum for the winter. And thousands of children died because of cold. And now they are still living the same conditions. But why the prices are increasing? This is unbelievable. So why the world is not searching for the rules that they put for such organizations, and to control these organizations, and to know why those people are buying? They mustn't buy. They are about 2 million, and 2 million is not a big number for the whole of humanity. They need to be alive until the situation became better and they come back to their houses. I see now that it's a very big dream that we are talking about their coming back to their houses. And this is what the humanity must be searching for and trying to solve. But the humanity is not thinking about this, so we are thinking about the acceptable and the solution that we can see to solve their problems that they are living every day. And this is the minimum thing that we can do, solving their problems. They must eat and they must drink and they need medicine every day and they need clothes. How could the world is watching the children in the camps half naked or maybe wearing a very old clothes? How could you understand this? How could you live this? They are living in these conditions. They are living in these conditions because the mother who is a widow, she can't buy clothes for her children. The world must know that this widow before some years had a husband and the husband was supporting his family. But this husband died in war, or maybe he is detained. He is under detention in the prisons of Al-Assad regime. So this woman and those children paid a lot. They paid the most important thing, that is the father who was supporting his family. The old people, there are a lot of old people, a lot of old people. They are living in small tents and they don't have the ability to work. A lot of people spend all winter sitting inside the tents because they can't go outside, because they don't have the clothes to go outside, or their clothes is not able maybe to give them warm, because if they go outside they will die. And a lot of children died inside the tent because even inside the tent it is very cold, and a lot of families have one blanket and they cover all their bodies by one blanket, and they sleep very close to each other because they are trying to warm themselves by their bodies, because they can't buy the blanket that come to them free. This is the life of those people, and a lot of children died and a lot of old people died because of this. Hunger is still killing people. Thirst is still killing people. Lack of medicine and cure is still killing people. Cold killed a lot of people. And now even the snakes and the scorpions are attacking them inside their tents because they are living in a mountainous places and sometimes in jungles. They are living in a bad conditions and in a real danger. The chance became too late to move for those people because we destroyed themselves from inside. We gave them all the time frustration after frustration, and now they are 100% frustrated. They are human beings. They are human beings. After all this, and after all what we have talked before and what we are talking now, we come to one problem, that is the increase of salaries. Every day there is increase in salaries. The people who must be supported 100% and they must be living freely because of their bad conditions, must buy everything, and this is not enough. The double of salaries every day is the view that we can see and the scene that we can watch carefully and clearly in the camps of Idlib. And this is not only the situation of the people who were living in the camps, no, never. Also the people who are living in the cities and the villages. How could they get money to buy? It's a humanity, and the humanity must solve the problems of the all humanity. The people of Idlib are human beings too. Everybody now in the world is trying to save his soul and trying to do the best to protect himself from the virus and to keep his life for the coming days. And he is very careful, and he wants to take care about his children and living in a very careful conditions because they care a lot about their lives. But we see a lot of people are dying every day because of everything that we afraid and we aware of. It's a real misery. We must soon and very soon search about the increase of salaries. It's not the greed of the merchants, no at all, but it is the greed of the people who are working in the organizations, who are selling the things that is given to those organizations freely to be given to those people freely, and in this case we help them to pass the coming conditions that will be also hard, but maybe it will be easier if we do it well. But corruption, and the corruption that is unwatched, nobody is watching corruption inside Idlib that is between the organizations. I searched for maybe 1 month about a family of 5 members. I discovered that a family of 5 members needs 6,000 Syrian pound to live for 1 day. And that is a very big number in Syria. It's a very big number in Syria. Yesterday I searched for the same family. I discovered that they must pay 8,000 for the same materials if they buy today. They can't pay any money. We are telling those people, go and die and we don't care. Die of hunger, die of thirst. They must buy the water every day. They can't buy even the water. They can't buy anything. The same t-shirt that the children were wearing in winter, it is the same t-shirt that is the same child is wearing today. Because they don't have the ability to buy a new one. They don't have ability to buy a new one. They don't have any money. They are 2 million. Do you expect that we are giving 2 million to death? We are telling them indirectly, go die, we don't care. We must care about those people. They are human beings. If they are cats, some people of the world will move for them. If they are dogs, some people of the world will move for them. But they are human beings, and the world is keeping silent and never moving for them. How could we call ourselves a human beings anymore? How could we call ourselves a humanity anymore? Now the children are trying to work. The children, you know what I mean, my children, I don't mean 15 or 16 or 17 or 18. I mean 5, 6, 7 years old. They are trying to go in such conditions that people are trying to be aware of coronavirus. They are going to the maybe places of trash and other things to collect old materials and the plastic, and they go to sell for the greedy merchants to get only the bread. We are giving those children to coronavirus and we are telling them go and be infected. We have to move to save them and not to give them death. The humanity is giving them death because of ignorance. We are ignoring a human soul. A human soul will die soon. We are trying to kill a human soul. We are trying to kill a human being, a young human being, a child. This is the life of the people who are living in the tents now with a complete ignorance of the word. I don't talk to the politicians because I know very well that politicians will not care about. I try to talk to the people who are living inside their houses and try to be aware of the virus and want and praying for God to be saved. I tell them, don't pray for God. Just do something for humanity, and then God will give a cure and give a reasonable way to be maybe aware to be successfully pass the hard times of this humanity passing time. Increase of increase of prices is one of the biggest problems that Idlib and the people, especially in the camps, are passing now. I know very well a lot of families until now couldn't buy a simple tent because it's very impossible for them. It is most impossible for them to get $200 to buy a tent. Until now, they are putting some pieces of old clothes over an olive tree and trying to have it a shelter from cold before and from hot now. They are trying to protect themselves in any way. I know very well some families and some people that they can maybe, I don't know how to say this really, because it's not the way of the dirty life that they are living, but they have to. They can't buy water to wash their bodies, especially the bodies of the children, because water must be bought daily. They can't even buy water for drinking, not for washing the bodies. You have a shower in the house and you are washing your body very well, especially in these days. And maybe you can have a shower 5 or 6 times in a day because you are aware of the virus. But those people are living in such conditions. They can't even buy the water for the drinking. How could they buy the water for washing their bodies? And they are children. Isn't it the right time to move for those people? Isn't it the right time to do something for those people? I don't ask the nation and these things. I ask a real movement. Everybody must move to save humanity. Humanity could be saved 100% or humanity could be done. There is no way that we can save humanity if the humanity is not a real humanity. People of Idlib are getting new problems every day. And now the problems that we must try to expose and to talk about is the increase of prices because of corruption, because of stealing the things that's given to them freely. They can't buy the cheap things. How could they buy expensive things? And by the way, the expensive things is the same cheap things that they were buying before. Hard conditions our people are facing daily. Stop, be silent. Move for those people. Don't be selfish. They are human beings. And there are millions of children over there. 50% or maybe then 50% of the people who are living in the tents are children. And a huge number of them are orphans. So they are destroyed from inside and they need to feel that the world is standing for them and supporting them. We have to search for the corruption that led to the increase of prices every day in Idlib. They can't pay all this money. and they can't buy from the market the same basket that's given to them freely. It is a big responsibility for the whole world. It is a big responsibility. The world succeed or fail. How many times we have to talk about this, and the world is keeping watching and keeping silent. It will be okay if we feel that we are human beings and we have emotions from inside, and we move for our people. Let's be human beings again. Let's do something for those people. In these hard conditions, I say to everybody, you have a chance to be a real human being. Giving money is a solution, but it's not a real solution. Everybody in the world must move for those people and finish their problems. The people who are living in the camps must come back to their houses again. And they have the ability to rebuild their destroyed life and houses again. And they will succeed. And this will not happen if the world kept silent without any movement for them. Let's try to do something for the people in the camps. In this case, we are doing something for the whole of humanity. And we will finish all the problems and the crises of the whole of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, accept my great respect. And I appreciate your time. And I hope we try to be positive with those people. Let's try to be human beings again. Or let's try to be real human beings again. Good night. Thank you very much.